Yeah, so let's answer a couple of questions. I see you guys are posting here. Let's see. Uh, I'm going to say here, um, okay, Lizzie, I'm still trying to breastfeed my 18-month-old, but I'm now 16 weeks pregnant with my second. When she latches, it feels like I have pins and needles feeling when she drinks, and it makes me jump. What can I do to help that pain so I don't jump every time she feeds? I feel like I'm making her feel like she can't drink anymore. Yeah, so that's one of the challenges when you're nursing during pregnancy. And although it's totally fine to do it, and for some moms, it's not an issue at all. The one of the downsides about nursing while you're pregnant is that your nipples get so sensitive, and you could really have some pain, which you're experiencing that pins and needles while you're nursing. It's really a difficult thing because there's not much you can do. It's the hormones, it's the fact that you're pregnant is going to make your nipples and breasts definitely more sensitive. I would say that try to nurse her, first thing in the morning. Try to do the feedings directly at the breast when you are fuller. And maybe you might want to do a little bit of pumping and feeding in a cup the rest of the day when she's active, running around. She's 18 months old, and maybe a little bit of pumping instead of at the breast. When the breast is fuller, she doesn't need to work as hard at sucking, and the milk, the letdown is faster, it's stronger, and so you may have less discomfort when the breast is fuller in order to actually latch her on. So maybe, during the night, early morning when you're fuller, and then a little bit of pumping. It's just really hard because you want to continue, and I think it's great that you're breastfeeding, continuing to breastfeed even though you're pregnant. Remember though that it does get easier. Like that first trimester is usually the hardest. Into the second trimester, you're 16 weeks, so you're kind of like moving in right now, you're into the second trimester, but as the pregnancy continues, it should, for most people, it does get easier and less discomfort. So hopefully that'll be the case for you, Lizzie. Congratulations on the pregnancy. Congratulations, how exciting. I was pregnant when my first daughter was 18 months old. That's when I got pregnant as well. And so it was a really good spacing for us. The girls are like 2 years and 4 months apart. And it was good for us, and it's still good. They're like enough of an age difference between them for there to be like older sister, younger sister, which me and my sister were like 13 months apart, and there was always like this, we were more like twins. But close enough when they're together, they enjoy each other, they're kind of into the same things still, even though one's in high school and one's in middle school. We just went away together as a family, and that was super fun. We were in Washington. Some of you saw our pictures. We took them to DC. Super cool trip. I loved it. I've been waiting to take them now that they're a little bit older to do the museums and do some of the monuments and stuff like that, and it was fantastic. We had such a good time, and they had fun together, and it was really cool to see them together. Maybe I'll post a picture of them together. They were really cute. So let's see. Okay, what else? What other questions do you have? Okay, so Jennifer, is it normal for my 9 weeks old baby to spit up a lot after each feeding? I feel like she's throwing up everything she drank. I asked the doctor and he said it's normal because babies have a hard time keeping milk down, and maybe she's overeating, but when I bottle feed her my pump milk, she drinks what she normally drank before, 3 ounces, without throwing up. I'm worried. Okay, so really nothing to worry about. I think I agree with your doctor in this case. It is normal. What happens is babies have the sphincter, the flap that controls milk from regurgitating back into the esophagus and then for them to throw up, is typically weak on an infant, and so that's why they spit up frequently. Some have more spit up, some have less, and when they feed a lot, they will usually they can throw up, they can spit up some of the milk that they drank because of that weak sphincter control that does over time get stronger. Here's the thing to remember is that it may seem like she just vomited everything because it can look like a lot. But as long as you're not having issues where she's not she doesn't seem hydrated, she's not peeing, pooping, or she's losing weight, or she's not gaining weight, if all those things are okay, then I wouldn't be concerned at all, and just get some extra clothing, and you're gonna have to do a lot of laundry, but it's probably very normal. Make sure that you're burping her frequently, like throughout the feeding. And if you have an oversupply, or if you have a really strong initial letdown, that could cause her to get quite a bit of milk in really fast right at the beginning. And then if there's a burp or there's some air that was swallowed because of that heavy letdown, and you don't burp her, like take her off immediately after she starts to drink to burp her, that air bubble could come up after, and with the air bubble, the milk is gonna come up. So I recommend, if you're seeing a lot of that spit up, couple things. One is to burp right after you start to see a letdown. Could be only like 2-3 minutes into the feeding. Stop the baby, use my burping technique so she doesn't freak out, okay, and keep her calm, get a little bit of a burp out, and then put her back onto your breast and let her feed, and burp maybe 3, 4, 5 times during the feeding. I've had people who have to keep stopping and burping. Do you know what to look for? Do you guys know what to look for when it comes to to know that your baby needs to burp? The things you need to look for is the baby starts to eat, and then at a certain point, and I actually have a baby right here, I'm going to show you. And the baby's wearing a swaddle up. Look at this baby. The baby's sleeping. You need your baby to be awake to burp, okay? So let's get a different baby that's awake. Okay, here's a baby that is awake. Hi, awake baby. Okay, so if you're nursing, okay, and the baby is nice and calm, and the baby will settle in, start drinking, body's calm, body's still, and then all of a sudden you'll see the baby kind of pulls their head back, they arch their back, they're pulling back, or they start to wiggle their body. Those are signs that the baby's telling you, I need to burp now. So that's a really good time to take the baby off, burp the baby, and put the baby back on. And the way that you would do that is, get them into a nice calm position, up and down, that motion up and down that I've shown you in my burping video, or up over the shoulder, moving them up and down this way, okay? I'm not really into the patting, as you all know, okay? Because it doesn't really do anything. You want to get the baby to be nice and calm, and then put them right back to the breast. Doing that is, yeah, you love the Love to Dream. So speaking of Love to Dream, would you guys like to do a little giveaway of the Love to Dream? Yeah, I'm going to do a little giveaway today for Love to Dream. Why don't you guys comment here? Let me know I'm going to do a little demonstration, but then I'm going to put a post up after we're done for a Love to Dream giveaway where you can tell me all about it. So right now you can hear the features, and then I'm going to ask you to post about it on the post that I'm going to post right after this, okay? Love to Dream. Valerie, are you asking me what this is? Because this is awesome. I actually have a few here. Okay, can you see my babies here? This one looks a little odd with her. Yeah. This is one that can suck their thumb, and actually she should be wearing the 50-50 so she could suck her thumb. So Love to Dream is a swaddling blanket, and we love the people at Love to Dream. What it is, it's a swaddling blanket where their arms are up instead of, yes, their arms not down. Okay, so most swaddling blankets that you see, it kind of binds their arms in a down position, which is really not anatomically correct for the baby. It's usually not that comfortable, and so many people will say, my baby hates to be swaddled, because they want to have their hands closer to their face where they can self-soothe. Okay, so having their hands up where they can suck on their hands, where they can stroke their cheeks, that is actually a normal position for the baby. But when the baby is loose with their arms up, what winds up happening is they're not as calm, because that Moro reflex, that startle reflex is there for them. So having them in the swaddle up swaddling blanket, and that's what these are called, from Love to Dream, gives them that feeling of something to push against, but they're in a position that most babies will sleep in, which is their arms up. And not only most babies, but most people. I sleep with my arms up. I don't know how many of you guys actually sleep with your arms up, because I do. I wind up in positions like this. And if you like, even if you just do a Google search, do a Google search of images of babies sleeping, and you will see that the majority of the pictures, the baby has their arms up, okay? So the swaddle, this is a genius invention, okay, where the arms are swaddled in a swaddle up position, okay, and then you can see it's like a big sleep sack here. And the fabrics are just amazing. The one that I am holding right here is actually called the 50-50, all right, versus the regular swaddle up. So this is the regular swaddle up that you would use for a smaller baby, okay, and well, let's do this one first. Okay, so this is the regular swaddle up. And as you can see, it is arms in, and then there's a zipper right here, and the zipper opens from the top, and it also opens from the bottom. Okay, so there's a zipper down here, and I'll just open it like that so you can see. Okay, so you can open it, you can change your baby's diaper and not have to take them out of the swaddle, which is great during the night. That's really great during the night, okay? And then there's also like a little hole in the back here so that if the baby was sitting like in a stroller or in a swing, you can put the straps through the back, unzip the front, and strap them in and use the straps. Now that's not for a car seat, okay? We never want to use anything for a car seat, but for strollers, for bouncy seats, for swings, stationary swings, that's awesome, okay? Okay, can you use it with a rolling baby? Actually, what you want to do, and so then that moves into the 50-50 swaddles, okay? So the next stage after, you're not going to use once the baby can start rolling, you really want to take them out of the regular swaddle, okay? The regular swaddle, because you want them to be able to roll themselves back, use their hands to push up, okay? They really shouldn't have their hands in as they start rolling. So this one here actually has a sleeve that zips off, okay? And I'm going to show you, Lucky's barking in the background. So what you do is as they start to get to the point where they're using their hands to soothe, they're sucking their fingers, or they're starting to roll, as you said, you can release their arms and take this off. It comes completely off, which I'm not going to do right now, but it comes completely off. And this is a great way to transition them from a full swaddle all the way into what we would consider a sleep sack, all right, so that you're not putting blankets into the crib with the baby. They're continuing to sleep inside the sack to keep them warm, but their hands can be free. So I just love this. Isn't that a fantastic idea right there? So you can transition them. And I was talking to Hannah. She's the inventor, the owner of the company. She's in Australia, and we recently had her on the program with us to do an interview and a live stream with her. Yeah, it is genius. It is invented by a mom. Hannah, okay? It is invented by a mom. And, you know, we were talking all about the fact that, you know, these come in all different sizes, different weights. Here's one that actually is a little bit heavier for the winter time. These are awesome. See the quilted fabric? This is so comfortable. So it has like nice quilting here. That's to keep them a little bit warmer. But the whole point here is to not put any blankets or anything into the bed with the baby and to keep them in a swaddle position. Really haven't seen anybody who's used this product and said it doesn't work. I mean, everyone that I talk to who uses it, and ever since I started working with them, I'm like, this thing is amazing. When I saw it, I'm like, it's so different than everything out there. And keeping them calm. Hannah was telling us, you know, one of the best ways to transition is the baby goes into this at night, and to start, if your baby's starting to roll, if you're feeling like you need to take the arm off, to do it when they fall asleep. Like the first time you do it, remove the sleeve while they're sleeping, so it's an easier transition. And that way, while they're sleeping, they start to get the feeling of having their arm free. Okay? So, yes. Does anybody have the swaddle ups? Does anybody have one of these blankets and they're using it right now? I'd love to hear from you guys. They come in all different colors. This baby's so cute. I love her face. They come in all different colors, they come in different weights, they come in different prints, they come in the 50-50, or they also come in the regular swaddle up. And yeah, they also come in an organic fabric as well. So I'd love to hear from you if you have one of these at home, because they are really awesome. And then we're going to do a giveaway today. All right, I'm going to, yeah, no blankets on baby. Okay, yeah, it's a SIDS risk. Okay, so we don't want to have any blankets on the baby at all. That's why the swaddle up. There's the other thing too, is notice how it has like this hourglass design. It kind of hugs the baby through the center, which is what we want. Is we want to have some pressure on their belly and that feeling of being held. But we don't want that. We want them to have enough room where their legs can be out, their hips can be out, so that their legs are in, their hips are in the right position for development. Okay, so we don't want them to be in this straight bundled line all the time. We want them to be able to have their hips splayed like that. So the whole design was very well thought out, and it's the best position for a newborn. Yes, and it's perfect for cloth diapers too. Great point, Nina. Cloth diapers can sometimes be a little bit more bulky, and so this is going to be perfect for your cloth diapers. I love this thing, and I love this print too. She looks so cute. Okay, so yeah, as soon as we're done with the live stream, stay tuned. Just come back to the page, because I'm going to post a giveaway for the day. All right, and we'll be giving away a couple of swaddle ups and a couple of 50-50s. How does that sound for you? I know you all would like that. You'd like the light version, right? There's a light version too for the summer. Very lightweight. So there's very little fabric on the baby, but it's still creating that that swaddling position. Babies like to be swaddled. You know, when people talk about my baby hates to be swaddled, what's happening really is that the baby either wants to have their hands up, or they hate the way you're doing it, or they hate the blanket you have. That's been my experience. Most babies do like to be swaddled. Think about where they came from. Babies have been in the womb. I have something in my hair. I can see it. Okay. Excuse me with that. Oh no, that's my zipper. Okay, it's my zipper. I think I'll just take a sip of my coffee. It's early, and I was up late with all of you guys last night. Babies are in the womb for 9 months. It's a very tight, confined space, and so they like the feeling of being held, of being confined, of being feeling supported around their body, which is why the swaddles work well. But they also like to have their hands up. They do not have their hands down in the womb. They have their hands up near their face. And actually, if you think about it, they're kind of restricted from stretching out this way in the womb, okay? They're kind of like this. And so their hands are close to their faces, where they can suck, soothe, stroke their faces. That's how they do self-soothe. And so that's one of the advantages of using this blanket over others. Yeah. Excellent. Yeah, you guys definitely need one of these. Okay, good. I will post it right when we're done. Okay, I will post it. Should we answer a few more questions? You guys want to do some questions? I have a couple here that I had printed out. Let me look and see. Let's answer a question from Heidi last night. Heidi asked the question, what does a good latch look like for women with larger breasts and large areolas? And I have a feeling I understand why Heidi's asking this question, because so often it is instructed. Lucky, come here, Lucky. So often we're instructed that, you know, when the latch is good, that you will, you know, you're getting most of the areola into the baby's mouth. And I always find, you know, with moms with larger areolas, they're like, that's impossible. That's not going to happen. And that's true. All of the areola does not need to be sucked into the baby's mouth. And that's pretty much true for anybody, unless your nipples are super small and all of it is going to be sucked in. The main thing you're looking for, and I don't know if I've ever even talked about this, when you have the latch, you're looking for a latch that's sort of asymmetrical. That means more of the areola where the baby's chin is going to be pulled in and less where the baby's upper lip is. So it's not completely even. Usually they'll draw in, if you're holding the baby in a proper position, they're going to draw in more of the areola on the bottom, and I mean bottom of where their mouth is, and less on the top. And so a normal good latch for women with large breasts and large areolas, it's the same as everyone else. Just don't have the expectation that you have to draw the whole areola into the mouth, which is pretty uncommon for anybody, okay? I would just like to see more at the bottom jaw and less at the top, and then you know that you're actually having a asymmetrical, better latch with the baby, all right? So I think that's what you're probably trying to ask here. Let's see, what else? Any questions in the chat here that I can answer for you? I have to scroll back, but I can answer some from before. Stephanie said, is snacking normal, or should I be encouraging my 8-month-old to be nursing for longer time periods less often? You know, snacking is normal. So all babies will eat at different times. And so if they're snacking, I just heard Joe walk in. If they're snacking, it might not actually be a snack. It's just that they're eating frequently and they're eating smaller amounts, which is actually a good thing. It's good for your baby. And it's really good for your milk supply too. So eating small amounts frequently is not a bad thing. You don't have to encourage them to eat longer, and very often you can't. They're going to eat what they want to eat, and it's normal. So yeah, I don't think you need to encourage her to eat longer, and I really don't even know how you would. You know, keeping her there, forcing the baby to breast is not going to work. Babies just eat what they want to eat when they want to eat it. And sometimes, you know, the feedings will get shorter and shorter as they get older. So what you consider a snack, this happens all the time. I'll have moms come over for consultations and I'll say, make sure you come with the baby hungry, because the baby needs to be hungry for me to help you with your latch. And you know, so don't feed the baby immediately, like before you come, or the baby will be sleeping the whole time. And they'll show up and they're like, oh, you know, I didn't feed the baby. I just gave the baby a little snack, just like, you know, 10 minutes of feeding right before we showed up. That's not a snack. That's probably the whole feeding. So, and often that is the case. So, Stephanie, it may not be that the baby is snacking. It may be that your baby is actually eating that fast, and it could just be 5 minutes. And that's actually one of the advantages that you will see as the baby gets older, is that, you know, with breastfeeding, they are feeding for less time. So the whole thing is just easier. It gets easier and easier. Yes. Oh, what else? Yes, Kelly, babies know what they need. Follow their lead. Perfect. Couldn't say it better myself. Exactly. How do you regulate, Jody's asking, how do you regulate supply after growth spurt? You're going to have big swings during growth spurts, and growth spurts are normal things that is a normal events that will go on with your baby. Typically they happen around 3 weeks, 6 weeks, 3 months, and 6 months, but that's just average. You'll see it at different times. The way that it'll look for you with a growth spurt is the baby, you know, it seems like they were in a good pattern. They were going, you know, stretches between feedings. Then all of a sudden they're eating like every hour and they're just wanting to go back to the breast. And you may feel like you're not making enough. And it's when moms will typically reach out and be like, you know, something happened to my supply, like overnight, I don't have enough milk. And the answer to that is, it's very uncommon, very, very uncommon, unlikely, I want to say, maybe that's a better word, for you to be fine, your supply to be fine, change nothing other than just one day you wake up and your milk supply is shot. That's not the case. Usually what's happening is your baby's having a growth spurt, because babies grow in spurts where they have like a week where they're really growing a lot. And when that happens, they do require more milk, and so they're eating everything that you were making before, but they need to kind of push your body to be making more. And what winds up happening is they feed more frequently, they're draining every last drop, And remember, I don't know if you were with me last night, but as we talked about last night, the more that you drain the breast, the more the signal to your brain and to your body to make more. And so the baby is doing exactly what you need, which is demanding more, draining every last drop, emptying the breast frequently, not giving it a chance to refill. And that signals the body to make a lot more milk. And so that can happen for like a day or two. If you just allow the baby to nurse whenever they want, that will be fine. They'll still get everything they need. They just need to feed more frequently. And by not interfering with that, not, pulling milk out of the freezer or supplementing with formula at that point, but continuing to give the baby what the baby wants, you will see that your body will rebound very, very quickly, where by feeding as often as they want, you'll wake up with a lot more milk, and you might even feel engorged again, okay? Which is, I think what you're referring to here is making sure, you're going to feel engorged, and then how do you regulate that? So you're going to go from feeling like not having enough to the next day feeling super full and the baby's gagging and choking, and now you're having all kinds of other issues. Again, the answer to that is to just feed on demand, feed the baby what the baby wants, burp frequently when those times of like the rebound from the growth spurt where you have a lot of milk, burp frequently, maybe do some more relaxed position, like a laid back position where the baby's more on top of you than underneath you, to allow the baby to control some of that flow when the breast is really full. And try not to after the feeding, pump all the rest of the milk out, because it will just continue to keep you oversupplied. It may be a good time to store a little bit of milk, but then you need to slowly wean it back down, or you're going to keep making more than you actually need. So that's the best way. It doesn't take long for it to go back to where you want it to be, but these are normal changes that will occur throughout your whole time breastfeeding. So let me see, other comments. I haven't used direct Facebook for live streaming in a really long time. I've been using Blue Jeans. I've had so many guests on and so many videos to post. So I'm right here directly on Facebook now on my computer. So I'm actually scrolling through your comments, which is kind of cool to just have this very easy here. Let me see. Okay, Katie, any suggestions or reasons why baby is super fussy at night? I know it's common, but he has to eat before sleeping, sleeps for a little, then wakes up screaming, nurses again. This happens a minimum 2 to 3 times a night, then he'll sleep for 2 to 3 hours. Yeah, a couple of things can be happening, Katie. The evening time, let's just start with that for a minute. In the evening, your baby can typically go through that witching hour, we call it, and it's not usually an hour, it's usually hours, where they can be really fussy. And even for babies who are not typically fussy throughout the day, that dinner time, evening time comes, and then they're fussy. And I feel like it's a combination of a couple things. One, your milk supply is the lowest late in the afternoon into the evening versus during the early morning hours and when you first wake up, when it's the largest and you're the fullest. So that late afternoon and evening, just like when you're trying to make dinner, trying to eat dinner, get the bath done, all the other things, the baby tends to want to nurse constantly, and they're crying and they want to be at the breast. And truth is that, your milk supply is the lowest. They need to eat more frequently. You do have less milk, but when the milk supply is, when your milk is less, the fat content is actually higher. So there's a reason to continue to feed during that time when your milk supply is lower in the evening hours. So putting the baby to breast frequently, wearing the baby in a carrier or a sling is going to be a great thing at that time during the evening hours. And then during the night, so that's one part of it. The other part is, lots of times babies can just get super overtired, and I've seen this over and over again, where babies, they go through the whole day, they may be napping enough, they may not be napping enough, and even if they're napping, but if they're in a place where there's a lot of noise, where they're not getting that really good deep sleep, And even if they're babies, they can get very overtired by the evening, and that overtiredness can cause them to be super, super fussy. And we all know this, if you're a mom with other children, you know how they get. They get like crazy if they haven't slept. And so that evening time can sometimes be a tough time where they're very cranky. And they usually grow out of it. I don't know how old your baby is, Katie, but babies typically start that fussiness somewhere around 2 weeks past the due date, and then it peaks at around 6 weeks past the due date. And I say past the due date because you kind of have to adjust for, gestational age, and if they're born preemie, if they're born late. You'll see it starting around 2 weeks past the due date, and then peaking at around 6 weeks. And typically, even babies that do really well, 5 months. Okay, so 5 months is a lot past the due date there. I would say that, babies go through different stages, and it could be that your baby's going through some growth spurt right now, and that is why he's wanting to eat really frequently at night. He has to eat. I'm trying to read your question again. Any suggestions for reason baby is super fussy at night? Also, pay attention to how much you're burping, because sometimes during the night we tend to want to just get it over with fast. So like you feed the baby falls asleep at the breast, and then you just tend to put the baby down and not burp. So that could be one reason. The other thing could be that the baby could be teething. And teething, at 5 months is a very common time and just in pain. So that could be another reason why the baby's super fussy. And again, nighttime is when they tend to be more fussy. So that could be the reason too. Let me say this. So all these issues, I'm not going to compare, but I'll tell you, I've got teenagers and we've got other issues. So it just gets a little harder. It gets harder as they get older. All these things, they do pass, and you do get sleep eventually. And then you don't want to sleep because you want to be checking on them, what they're doing. Yeah. So, I'm just sitting here going, I missed this stage. Definitely missed this stage. Not to minimize, not minimizing it, just saying the truth. With a 15-year-old, yes. This tank is super comfortable. I'm actually really loving it. I'm not going to pull it down, but I'm going to show you. This is the Rumina tank. So it's the one that you can pump in or nurse in, and I'm wearing it right now, and I really like it. I really, really like it. Joe's laughing. He just walked in.
What's in your flesh?
No, I'm not that. I am not doing that.
Hey, everyone.
No comment.
Who's on right now?
We've got Katie and Kylie.
Hi, Kylie.
And
hi, Katie.
Jody and Erica and Valerie
Hi,
and
Misty.
Kate. They're all here. I don't know. I was drinking my coffee. I was sitting here, and it looks so good with the lighting coming in from here. Are you guys, there they are. Are you guys excited for the live stream on Sunday night? I am.
Me too.
I love Alicia. Do you guys know Alicia Voorhees? I don't know if you guys know who she is. If you don't, she used to come on my show all the time in the past to do all kinds of great segments. We had some really good episodes with her. She's just an expert in everything organic and natural and non-toxic. She just has a wealth of information. She works with Earth Mama Angel Baby, and she also has a website, The Soft Landing. And you don't want to miss this, okay?
No.
You don't want to miss this, right? It's
popular conversation.
It's such a good
really
conversation.
Helpful.
It is sponsored by Earth Mama Angel Baby and Naturepedic. We have some amazing prizes on Sunday night, and then of course, better than anything else is going to be the conversation that we're going to have. So don't miss Sunday night, 9 p.m. You love all the live streams. I'm so happy, Misty. Thank you for telling me.
Do you guys get a chance to watch them live more often, or do you catch a replay?
Yeah.
And is there a preferred night of the week you guys like?
we try to figure out like when you guys have an easier time. Like, is it during the day? Is it in the evening? Is it on the weekend? Is it during the week?
Try to mix it up so it gives everybody a chance to.
You love them, Kate. We love having you, Kate. And we know you come to all of them. So we really appreciate that. Really appreciate that. They watch them live. She tries to watch them. It's hard, you know, and that's why it's good to have them sometimes, you know, where you can, they're always up on my wall so that if you miss them, you can go back and watch them later. You know, and I'm really loving, like, you know, just, what do you guys think about me just jumping on like that, like this? Impromptu, answering questions, chatting with you guys. We haven't done that in a while, and I'm thinking that maybe we could get some of your live questions answered when we don't have guests, because when the guests come on, there's just so much to talk about, so much content that we want to provide. So I'm thinking that maybe we could jump on during the week like this and just kind of answer your questions, and maybe some of you guys can go back to people who posted and say, hey, go back and watch the live stream. If you guys help me out that way, then people get their answers if they don't catch the live session.
True.
Yeah, you go to bed at like 8 o'clock. Yeah, I get it. I understand. And I try to do them at a time when we can accommodate everybody in the whole country, because we have people like really all over the country and now all over the world. I was saying last night, we're about to hit 60,000 followers, so we're super excited about that. It's so nice, right? And so many of them are international too, like so many moms from like South America and the Philippines, like all over the place. So just super excited to see everybody. Yeah.
And we don't get to respond to every comment or post, but we do our best to read almost every one. I mean, even just yesterday in a giveaway, Mom wasn't even trying to enter. She was from the UK, and she was just saying, thank you so much. I'm enjoying watching the videos. And it's just nice to know, like, these casual conversations make a big difference and help so many babies and moms and dads across the world. So
Totally.
we see how much you support each other. When you tag a friend, it's just like a way to pay it forward, and it's a real compliment, and we appreciate so much.
We love you guys referring your friends, and we see it. We see the result. People are coming and they're enjoying and getting good information, and you know,
fires up to do more.
Yeah, it definitely fires me up to do
gotta
more.
go.
I've got a list of topics that I want to talk to you all about. But I have work to do, and if I don't get to work, we're going to have issues. So I need to sign off for now, get to work, and then I will post a giveaway for the swaddle ups, okay? So stay tuned. Let me get off the computer. Let me get off the live stream so I can go create the post, and then you guys can all jump on, tell me what you love about Love to Dream, and we will do a nice little giveaway. And I still have a breast pump to give away, which we'll be announcing today, okay, for the Even Flow breast pump. That we have a bunch of prizes that we still need to announce. Hey Joe, a bunch of prizes need to be announced today. Yeah, we got a bunch of them. We've got Even Flow pump, we've got the Lullaboo, right? We've got the Rumina from last night, and now we have the swaddle ups that I'm going to post right now. So lots of prizes headed into the weekend. So make sure you come and check it all out. All right. Love you guys. I'll see you all Sunday, okay? Keep on posting, and have a great weekend. Have an awesome weekend. See you later. Bye.